Go to that. Full screen it a bit. Yo, welcome back to the channel. I'm doing another reaction video. Today I'm reacting to a Holocaust survivor basically denouncing Israel. And this video, honestly, I think it's like 2 years old, but it's interesting to see somebody who survived the Holocaust deny Israel, where like Israel's like main defense in its existence is the Holocaust. I feel like this motherfucker went through the Holocaust and is like, yeah, you guys are fucking insane. But yeah, let's watch this shit together and see what this man's saying. See what he's talking about.
I say this as a Holocaust survivor, that the genocide in Gaza is not happening in my name and in our name. The way that the Israeli government is using the memory of the Holocaust in order to justify what they are doing to the...
Yo, is this real? Well, it's more than likely real, but damn. Got him in mass graves like this, just shovel sand over him. This is so sad, bro.
The Gazans is a complete insult to the memory of the Holocaust. It's an outrage. When I saw the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations putting on a yellow star, was stomach turning. Somebody who had to wear a yellow star, like myself and my entire family. I'm insulted by that. What distinguishes the Jewish Holocaust is its industrial scale and industrial methods being applied. And what has been happening to Gaza is similar in that the scale of the bombing and the indiscriminate nature of the bombing, the complete lack of care about children and women being...
It's been a minute of this video, and he's basically saying Israel is doing the same thing the Germans did to them. They're doing that to Palestine. But they're using what the Germans did to them as an excuse to do that to lesser people. Or when I say lesser people, I don't mean like they're worth less than Israelis. I mean like lesser as in their place in the world right now. They don't have much. They can't protect themselves.
The majority of the victims amounts to industrial scale of genocide.
They don't have anything. Not even they don't have much. They don't have anything. And Israel's bombing the little nothing that they have.
Right? The painting of the Palestinian people as worthless, almost animal-like by the description of some of the leaders. That dehumanization enables the population of Israel to tolerate what's going on. The way that Palestinian people who were arrested were treated, having to take their clothes off and parading them, it's part of the humiliation. In the West Bank, the way the checkpoints are organized, the way you are forced to wait for hours for no reason in order to go to school or go to work, etc. All this amounted to humiliation, similar to what we experienced. The sort of determination and consistency with which they are setting about to destroy the nation, and consistency with which they are experienced, the sort of determination and consistency.
This shit is so sick. Like, it's so disgusting. Bro's just blasting away at a building, not even looking if he's shooting kids, old people, nothing. Just smoking a cigarette with his finger on the trigger, blowing the building down.
Consistency with which they are setting about to destroy the whole of Gaza
that is so
very similar to the kind of cruelty and determination of the fascist regimes, some of the actions of the Nazi state in dehumanizing and completely cruel large-scale killings, etc. If it is repeated, I don't see why you couldn't make the parallel. It can only be helpful in understanding what's going on to make the parallel. I don't think there should be any taboo against that. I think...
Thank you. He's like, nigga, you have to say it's like that because it is. You have to point it out before it gets too terrible. But it's already at that point, I feel like.
I particularly find painful to see the children. Because I remember after the war, we played in the ruins like they do now. But particularly their losses, to suddenly lose parents and siblings and so on, There was a boy in the same rescue homes where I was. He was traveling on a tram with his parents. This boy moved to the front to stand behind the tram driver because he was interested in how he was working the levers and so on. At the next stop, an Arrow Cross raiding party came on and asked for papers. And the parents were identified as Jews and arrested straight away. The son was separated at the front, and they had to make an immediate decision whether to say something to him and involve him or let him perhaps escape the net. And that's what they decided. So they...
You know how insane that is? Like, I'm getting picked up. I just have to be quiet. I have to leave my son. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know what he's going to eat that day, what he's going to sleep, where he's going to sleep that day, but I have to like just be quiet and just get taken and let him sit there wherever they're at. Because I know if he gets taken, it's worse for him than being homeless and being like alone in the world as a kid. It's fucking sick, bro. The Nazis, they were on some shit. And these Israelis are on some shit too.
were taken down from the tram and sent to Auschwitz. They never said goodbye to their son, and they perished in Auschwitz. So that was the end of the family. Now, can you imagine the psychological state of that boy who suddenly found himself on his own in this way, not saying goodbye to his parents? And I think this kind of thing, this separation, and the sense of complete inability to intervene or in any way exert any kind of positive influence on events, this kind of separation and destruction of families in the...
It's almost like you got to separate yourself from humanity to really do shit like this.
This manner is again something that repeats in Gaza now, I think.
Destruction of families in this. Let me turn the captions off. I gotta read what the kid's saying. It's like, how does this end? Because this kid don't just lose his mom, his dad, his siblings and just say, okay, I'm gonna just leave. Like, he's gonna want revenge, ain't he? I feel like the bombing and the destruction only propagates more bombing and destruction. It's no end to it. Because this kid's gonna want his get back, and then he's gonna get back. And Israel's gonna be like, oh, they're attacking us. But the whole time you killed his family. So what do you expect?
I heard that some families divide the children and leave some with one branch and some with the other, so that at least somebody should survive from the family.
That's so sad.
There's an echo of the same experience. What happened to the Jewish people, the gas chambers and the industrial scale of extermination, and also the sort of invisible aspects, the incredible emotional pain caused, is so horrendous taken together that it seems to me inconceivable that it should be repeated anywhere in the world. That is why we say not in our name and never again. And this is why I was so totally shocked, particularly by those who I know have gone through the same themselves, repeating it on another people. I take as an extreme example one of my cousins, a late cousin, she died some years ago, who was a young girl taken to Auschwitz from Transylvania. Because she was young and strong, she was put to work, and she worked in a warehouse sorting clothes. And one day, she was sorting her parents' clothes, meaning that they had already been taken to the gas chamber. I think it's difficult to understand the emotional experience of doing or being in that situation. Yet she came back to Israel, and first to Romania and then Israel, and she was as racist as the rest of them against the Palestinians. Now, how it's beyond understanding how you can...
It's not really beyond understanding. Her parents was killed, and she had to like sort through their clothes and shit. No, that probably made her cold. Like, made her resentful to everyone.
Do that, and with the background that she had. I think this is to do with the extreme propaganda and the dehumanization. Zionism was a very unfortunate and sad development for the Jewish people. It broke a much longer tradition of always being on the side of the oppressed, not the oppressor, and the charitable nature of the Judaism and the humanity that they advocate, into a kind of exceptionalism and nationalism.
Everything is the Jews, not a single piece for other people, only for us.
And
Oh shit. Everything is for the Jews, not a single piece for other people. Everything for us. God.
Everything is the Jews, not a single piece for other people, only for us.
And in practical terms, impossible.
Tell me this don't look like if you're at like a soccer game or something, like a Manchester game, and they're fucking screaming and chanting. Like, this is the same. This is like a, excuse me. This is like a team sport kind of thing.
Single piece for other people, only for us.
And in practical terms, impossible project of taking over another people's country, which led to all the troubles that followed. Also,
to say not a single piece for anyone else but us, but you came from out of that place and came in and took their shit. Now you're saying everything is for us. Like, that's some crazy, I don't know what mental gymnastics you got to go through to be like, this is all mine now, even though it was a group of people there.
I agree with my cousin, late cousin, a very bright guy, who said, well, if we claim that there is a people who tend to be the victims of other people's discrimination, etc., then the last thing you want to do is to collect them up into one place as a target. And I think he was right. And I think current events prove it. Zionism started to proclaim that the only safe place for Jews is in Israel. And what we are seeing today is the worst, the most dangerous place for Jews is Israel. Quite a number of my family from Romania ended up in Israel. So when I visited them, that was my first brush with Zionism, I was completely shocked how
this dude is really like articulate for his age. I mean, I guess old people can articulate themselves well, but he's like, you can tell he's still there, but he's really old. It's cool.
Despite their experiences during the Holocaust, they were
mentally, I mean, like,
racist, basically, against the Palestinians, and couldn't understand it. And I can't understand it to this day fully, how that could happen. But they were. There's no denying it. And I found that atmosphere of racism was prevailing generally in Israel. And I turned strongly against that. Later on.
That's funny, because I was just watching a video earlier today, and it was this black guy. I think he was like the former president of the Amazon labor union, but he had went to do like some humanitarian aid over there, and he said the exact same thing this guy said. He said he's never felt hate for him, like he's never felt that much hate for him, even in America. He's never felt like the amount of hate and like just hate. Basically, that's all he said. He said he just felt like an extreme amount of hate from the IDF soldiers that had him imprisoned. And he said specifically he was treated differently than he was the only black guy there. He was treated differently than everybody else. This man literally said they choked him with his chains. Why you got chains on going to, I don't know, but it's just crazy. It's crazy how they're trying to be the victims while literally it's like a bully punching you in the face, hitting you, and while he's hitting you, he's like, why are you hitting me? Why are you hitting me? Why are you doing this to me? It's like the bully is playing victim in the midst of bullying.
I saw the repeated brutality of action against Palestinians, and it became more and more horrifying. And the very cruel attack on Gaza was the ultimate. And the use of the Holocaust background as a cover for all this was just unbearable. I mean, it was criminal, I felt. And this is when I became more active in trying to protest. Today's marches are having a very hopeful aspect. It is so large, so persistent, so global, that eventually the Western leadership, which are trying to deny what is actually going on, will be forced to face up to it. And I think we are not far from that. There was no parallel to that in the Jewish Holocaust experience. In fact, there was great abandonment. There were some.
This cat knocking over shit.
Very few, very brave people who risked everything to be on the right side of history and to rescue as much as possible. But the majority of people were too afraid and looked the other way. I find it completely incomprehensible, really, how you can.
It's crazy. These niggas think they cool as hell. This shit really lame as fuck. Y'all blowing up people's homes, like.
Completely incomprehensible, really, how you can do anything but totally condemn quite clear genocide. And anybody who doesn't do that, it will be revisited on him or her to look back on, to be on the wrong side of history and seriously guilty. And that goes for the UK government, to Keir Starmer and the shadow cabinet. And some of the church leaders, the chief rabbi, completely identifies with Israel and Zionism. I think it's important to stand up against this conflation that is propagated between Jewish.
I never hear anything about this. Like, I never hear anything about these marches with Jews, like, going against Israel. I haven't heard anything about that recently. This video is 2 years old, though, so.
And Zionism, if you do not stand up and criticize it and divorce yourself from it, then it sort of besmirches all Jews, basically. And I think it's essential to show that from a point of view of the morale of the people that is being victimized in the name of the Jewish people, that this is not supported universally by Jewish people at all, but it's simply the Zionist and Israeli establishment which does it, which are not too far from fascistic attitudes. I think fascism thrives on indifference and the general public being intimidated or looking the other way out of self-preservation and comfort. And it's essential that is not practiced, that a certain degree of risk even taken, and always making a stand against injustice. The time will come when history will judge these events. If you are just indifferent, if you do not take a stand, you acquire a degree of guilt without any doubt. And it's important that when that judgment comes, you are found to be on the right side of history, that you had not been, for sake of comfort and advancement or whatever, you had not been inactive. You have to assert yourself against the evils around you. No.
Shoot, he didn't say one wrong thing in that video, man. It's a damn shame what's going on in Palestine. It's a damn shame. And it don't take fucking Einstein to tell you that it's literally a genocide, that they're killing off a group of people. Like, it don't take 5 brain cells. Like, 1 brain cell could tell you that. But thanks for watching. Subscribe, like if you fuck with me. I'll see you on the next vid.